Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we have had the stakeholders from the government agencies and ministries in the first panel session. These are the people that make private and public partnership work out in our society today. They are the pillars of society. Please, a round of applause for them once again, please. If you have passed Lekki Ekpe any time in the past 2 months, you must have seen the face of the chairman on at least 2 billboards. Am I lying? No. You must have seen his face. And this makes me question or wonder, like, how much this chairman will get safe. If I did go for money, chairman, it is so bad that I will see chairman and chairman's wife. Marry right. I will not say more than that.
As founding chairman of P1 Group, what role do you believe real estate plays in driving economic growth and development? And how has your company contributed to that growth?
Unemployment is the highest in Nigeria. Nigeria is a capital of unemployment. And I mean to say there is no job out there. P1 in 2017 was awarded the highest employer of labor in Lagos by the numbers of people we'll empower to be on our platform, use our platform, work with us, and earn amounts that can only be earned by bank managers. Where you see someone who was never employed, was employed or underemployed, joins our system, stays for a period of 3 months to 6 months, learns for free all he or she needs to know about entrepreneurship, not just real estate, rendering service and value to people. And before you know it, the passion that they long have that has not been able to be financed by any angel investor gets financed by the platform profits that they make from P1. I mean to say, in our database, we have over 1 million associates, 1 million PBOs, as we call it, P1 business owners. Sign up as of today has been made free till the end of May 31st, 2025, just to encourage people. There's an annual fee after that of 55,000 or 75,000 naira, but it's a stipend compared to what you pay or what you make from the system. What did we create? We created an ecosystem where selling, I repeat myself, selling, because every company is established to sell something that adds value to the life of everybody. But many young people, 25, 21, 30, 35, 45, 55, 60, do not have what they sell, and that is why they are broke. P1 is a sacrifice that I and Dr. Jane Onwumere has given to the world to help us be free. I think I answered your question, sir.
Thank you so much. A round of applause for P1 for a legacy of helping out the young people. And that takes me to my next question. What advice do you have for the young people that want to break into the real estate industry? And what are the most essential qualities that they must possess that will guarantee them success?
Throw away your fears. Fear is the biggest killer of any dream. If I was afraid, I wouldn't have started P1. I mean, I was broke for 4 years, lived in 13 different places with my wife, begging people to stay in their houses for 13 different places. Inside that 4 years, 2.5 years, I was on the streets. And I made up my mind that I will pay for a house where I and my wife will live and start having children. 2012 years. So we went out. We go out every day. At that time, we found a flyer that was selling real estate for 300,000 naira in Lekki. That was the story. I'm telling the story somehow. And we found it in a Businessmen Fellowship International Convention in the National Stadium. And we took the flyer and called the people whose number is on the flyer. They advertised over 1,000 plots of land in Lekki for 300,000. We asked them, could we come and see the property so that we could sell? In our mind, we wanted to raise 300,000 from commissions to be able to pay for a 3-bedroom bungalow we saw at Ladega, somewhere in Eputu. Ladega, that's what they call Ladega, something like that. City Lekki. Wanted to pay for it. We didn't have the money. We have lived in 13 different places. So we called them. They came to show us this property. And not just us, we and so many other people that had seen the flyer in the Full Gospel Businessmen Fellowship International Convention. So when everybody left, we told the couple that was selling that property, please, can we sell for you? He said, you can sell, no problem, it's 300,000. How much commission will you give us? We don't give any commission. We advertise for Full Gospel at 300,000. So we're not going to give any commission. Okay, my wife said, can we add 60,000 on the 300,000 and sell for 300,000? And can we also duplicate your flyer and use it to market? They said, whatever you want to do. All we are selling is 300,000. Big mistake. We never signed an agreement. But God turned that mistake around and it became P1. Yes. What happened? We took the flyers, produced our own at 360,000. I went out, that 25,000 is actually 15,000. That's profile that they said that 25,000 is actually 15,000. I went to Shomolu where they print flyers, gave it to a printer, gave the flyer, redesigned another one, and then put 360,000 on it. And then we came out with 5,000 flyers. Every morning I will come from Eputu. I remember the name of the community, Eputu, and come to Aja, and I will be giving out flyers as early as 6 a.m. I will give out flyers to workers, put on the doors handle of cars, give out flyers to Jakonde, give out flyers to Victoria Land. Around 10 a.m., I will come back to Eputu. I meet my wife. Then I don't go out with any phone because they will steal the phone in the bus stops. So when I come back, I say, how many people called? She will bring out all the names. I will begin to save them on the phone. Then on Thursday before it starts today, we'll write a message and say, you have been positioned for inspection to that estate, his Caris estate, and we want to see you at one beer parlor that we're using as an office. We'll hire a bus for 7,000 naira to the site and show people the site and come back. We did that for 2 months. We didn't make any sale. But people have come to see. Fear. People have come to see and gone. If you were not as strong-willed as I am, you would have said, no, it's not working. Let me go. But what happened? In the 3rd month, April 2012, my wife looked at that flyer continuously, looked at it continuously. I said, Austin, that's my name. Something is wrong with this flyer. Why have we done over 300 inspections and nobody has paid? People are finding it difficult to pay bulk sum of 360,000. Can we break it down? Initial payment, 60,000. Subsequent payment, 25,000 per month for 12 months. If you add it up, it becomes 360,000. 25 times 12 is 300 plus 60,000. Then we had gathered, I did say, over 3,000 people have called us, over 300 inspections. We had gathered contacts over that 3 months or 2 months, January, February, March, 3 months. The 4th month was when this happened. I sent a bulk SMS to everybody, telling them that they can now start with 60,000 and pay 25,000 monthly for 12 months at the same outright price, but instrumentally payment. Voila. Voila. The night I sent that message, I woke up around 2 a.m. I was seeing 60,000 left and right. I was crying and laughing at the same time. God, what is this? People were not paying 60. So it pays to sell instrumentally. I'm teaching something right now, please. So if a young man here, a young woman, you don't have anything you are doing, I'll give you a secret very soon. Do just listen to me. Listen to my story and use it. It worked 12 years, 13 years ago. It's going to work again for anybody who takes it. I make proud to say that you can serve God and make real money. I have seen it happening not just in my life, in countless of thousands of other people who have joined this movement that I and Dr. Jane started. I mean, you are here, you are earning less than 300,000 a month. You owe yourself the wealth of real estate in Lekki and Ekpe. Yes, they may be fighting over title, giving title now. But thank you for introducing me to the PS. I have another card. told me to come and see him, that they will help us with their titles. Because Lagos is high in title. So what kills people is, I don't know whether I will fail. I don't know whether I will fail. I wanted, honestly, for 2.5 years, not a home. I wanted to pay that 300,000. So let me just quickly round up this. We started making money. From the 3rd month to the 5th month, we had deposits for 126 plots of land. We had well over 12 million in the account. We called the couple that showed us that property. And we told them we want to, because what we agreed verbally was that we will make 3 million every month payment for 10 plots at 300,000 until we finish paying for 120 plus, which we took from them. But at 2 months after that text message that said pay 60,000 and then 25,000 monthly, we had gotten over 12 million naira. We called them that they should come and take their money. They were surprised that they themselves have not even sold something like what we have sold. You know what they did? It's no longer 300,000. It's 350,000. We have collected money at 360,000. We have made a promise. I stood there and had high blood pressure. So I started sweating for no reason. It's like I didn't hear what they said. I asked my wife, what are we going to tell our customers? Are we going to tell them to add another money? Are we going to tell them it's no longer available? Are we going to go to jail for duping people? I was scared. Not knowing that God has a plan. God had a plan. For 2 weeks, I saw almost all the leaders in the Full Gospel Businessmen Fellowship International from here to the mainland. I was attending Full Gospel to go and find who can talk to this couple because they are also leaders in the Full Gospel business. And these people maintained their story. It's now 350, no longer 300. Do you see why I said there was no document? I teach that every day now. Never you do a business transaction, an agreement, without, even if it's a one-page MOU, that you say, I, Dr. Augustine, and your name? About. We are doing this, we are doing that, and we agreed this and we agreed that. Put your signature, put my signature. If you do it, you can end up in trouble. You may not survive like I did. So what happened? For 2 weeks, we were begging, pleading, begging, pleading. These guys maintained. Until we entered a cab that we normally hire. One guy we normally use when we don't have money. He will take us everywhere we want to go to. And he was coming from VI. When he stopped at Aja, I was on the phone complaining to many people. My wife was doing the same thing. The guy was listening to our conversation. When we got to Aja and some people came down from the vehicle, it was remaining only me and my wife. He said, Oga, madam, I better make no verse. This is one of the talk. I be like I get solution for our. That area where they call Elerongbe, Ibeju Lekki, he get one surveyor where family give land for the past 2 years. Make it sell land for them. The man never fit sell one plot. Now go follow me, make una go see the land. Lo and behold, if that land is here, this is where our own was, the one we sold. Do you know what? After doing a meeting the following morning with the family, they agreed on the same 3 million naira. But the price was now 200,000 per plot. Instantly, we were making 160,000 on each plot instead of 60,000 naira. What we did was to do what we now call today open house. We called all the customers to come and look at the new place. If you like it, come at the same price. If you want to stay with these people, pay extra 50,000. So we didn't even know that 12 million in our account was enough capital to start our own real estate business. But we were honoring our agreement by keeping it for them, believing that it is their own. But they rejected it. And God gave it to us. Say, I have the blessing. Use it and start your business. So this people you are seeing today is not funded by anybody. Over 1,300 staffs, over 200 offices, over 1,000 estates, self-financed, and employing people every single day. So desist from allowing fear to steal your future from you. Thank you very much.
To a man that first married the right partner. To a man that now became friends with his partner. Built, hustled, and laid foundation with his partner. started a business with his partner, surmounted challenges with his partner, and founded a legacy with his partner. A round of applause for Mr. P1 again, please. For standing up, man. For standing up and giving him a round of applause. On behalf of P1, Madam, sit down. Don't worry. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. You think if I have that power, I will be sitting here. I will be there. But thank you so much, sir. From your story, despite how short it was, you've crossed across so many lines. Something that many of us might not have paid attention to is when you had problem with that family, you went to all their church branches trying to mediate. Sometimes it's not fight that will solve it. It's mediation, negotiation. And that's very beautiful in business. I'll go straight to Mr. Matthew, boy. Omo, I've learned a lot, though. Mr. Matthew, from humble beginnings to being a successful real estate entrepreneur, what is your story? And what do you think aspiring people like you from humble beginnings can pick from your story?
All right, thank you. My name is Matthew Boy again. I joined the real estate sector in 2021. And just to add to what Chairman has said, the first platform, can you hear me?
The money has blocked your throat, sir. So maybe you can help us just cough out some money.
Maybe I need to change my mic.
Okay, no problem. You can try, sir.
Is this better?
Yes, sir.
Better, right? Okay. So, so when I decided to join real estate in 2021, after losing some finances, the first real estate company that came to mind, or somebody introduced me to, was P1. So a round of applause to our chairman. I know he doesn't know me, and the wife knows me very well. And today I'm his neighbor, but he doesn't know. So that's all I VRB. So just to say that. So when I started my real estate journey, I will anchor my journey in three things: building good relationships and being consistent. Chairman said for 2 months they were sharing flyers without making any sales. Mine was 1 year, 6 months, I didn't make any sales. 1 good year, 6 months. How I knew that God wanted me to be on, knew that God wanted me to do real estate was, so I don't know if you remember when you were doing deposit of 50,000 naira. 2020, right? Okay. 2021, yes. I joined 2021, so I had 3 people who sent me a message on a Sunday afternoon. You said 50,000 naira deposit, right? I said yes. Somebody paid. The next day, I went to where I used to do business. I used to be an importer. So we import if I lost the money I had. So I went back there. I was carrying a bag. I remember one of the people that knew me say, so you're not carrying a bag like Jehovah's Witness. No, this is Jehovah's Witness bag, right? So I went to market there. And I met 2 people who, one person paid 100,000 naira, the other person paid 50,000 naira. To date, these 3 people never continue payment. It's funny, right? But God just showed me that mercy to let me know that, okay, Matthew, I want you in this sector. There are 3 things I have in mind. I'm passionate about: hospitality, real estate, and security. But when I was thinking about what to do next, the first thing that came to my mind was real estate. And somebody introduced me to P1. Then after 1 year, 6 months, talking about consistency, I post on my WhatsApp stories, my Facebook stories, my Facebook page, and somebody called me one day and said, I have been watching you, I've been listening to your advice, your motivational videos and stuff like that. I think it's the right time for me to invest. I was like, okay, normally, I've had an encounter with somebody that came from abroad before. After going for an inspection, and the person said, that place is too far. Lekki, it's too far, I cannot buy. So I was just a bit reluctant. This person is coming from abroad again. Okay, how much is your budget? It was like 3 million. I said, okay, so do you have like a range? He said 3 million to 5 million. So when I was about to send, I sent between 3 million to 10.5 million naira. So he saw the one of 10.5 million naira. I was like, okay, Can you negotiate this 10.5 million naira for me for 10 million naira? I said, fine, why not? I called the MD, P1 Pro. I called him, sir, can you do this for me? He said, no, he will be taken from your commission. I said, commission, okay. If you remove 500,000 naira from my commission, how much is remaining? So I was like, okay. I called my team leader, Chinyere Agu. So she introduced me to one other property that was selling for 9 million naira. The value of the property was 12 million naira. They were doing promo for 9 million. And that's how I jumped at it. I called my investor, said, I got a better deal, a better location for 9 million naira. He was okay, let's go with that. And that is how I sold that. And ever since, I can tell you I've been selling from day to day, month to month, and back to back. So then the third thing I will also say, anchor my story on, is trust and integrity. You see, I think one of the speakers talked about trust initially. Don't joke with trust and integrity. It's very, very important. I don't sell what I cannot buy myself. I don't do it. If I go to a location, if I don't like a location, I don't sell it. If I don't like a property, I don't sell it. I have to fall in love with that property. I have to like it before I can market it. Because I know that whatever happens, my name will be at stake. So I have so many investors who are not even in the country. Whenever they come and I show them their property, they're like, oh, thank you so much for buying this property for me. Thank you so much. Why? Because I have tried to build trust over time with them. So if you are a realtor here and you are selling something that you know that if somebody call you to come and buy that, you will not be able to buy it, please desist from it. It's not a good thing. Thank you.
I'm scared of the next question. Chairman used 6 months, Abi, before he made money. Mentee, 1 year, 6 months. If you get to barrister now, as a lawyer, how long did it take you to make money? I know 1 year, 2 years. So, before I move to the barrister, sir, I have a question for you. Real estate is a very competitive space. It looks like almost everybody is a realtor. I'm sure, how many of us are realtors here? You see, they even pass person who won't buy the house. What are the strategies that one can employ to stay ahead of competition? Because I feel like without staying ahead of competition, I don't think he can survive. So, because if I ask Chairman now, Chairman can just open eyes one day and say, from law school bus stop to Aja, 10 P1 billboards, you will see it. But some of us have interest in that industry and that space, but we cannot afford to expend that much resources. So in the smaller spaces, from the smaller places, how can we stay ahead of competition in this space?
All right, I'll go back to what I said initially, build trust and integrity. That's the first currency you need as a realtor. That's the first currency. Then the next thing you should do, this word of mouth they've really watered it down because of social media. You can do adverts. That's nice. Don't stop that. Do that. But please don't downplay the area of word of mouth marketing. Go to door, go and market your products. When you meet people, for some of the realtors that are here, you are here to network. Have you met people that can buy your property? Do you get it? Because for every opportunity that you have to meet people, I usually use this word, people are assets. People are assets. No matter who you meet today, either a child can lead you to somebody that can buy your products. If somebody does not have the capacity to buy, the person has the capacity to recommend you to somebody that can buy. So don't say, this person does not have money, that's not my class. Don't do that. Because last year, I was sent a message to somebody's house, one of the deacons here, by my pastor in Abuja. Go and give him this thing. I went there, I greeted the man, I gave him the thing. I could have used that time to do something else. I was like, you're into real estate? I said, yes, sir. And he recommended me to one of his friends that brought property worth 150 million naira from me. So imagine when somebody sent me a message, I said, no, sir, I'm very busy. Do you get? So sometimes the place of humility also comes in play. So please, the first one is, please, build trust and integrity. The second one I have mentioned is word of mouth. It can also lead to referral. Build relationship. Those are the three key things I think, beyond the normal social media aspect that you can use to leverage and get ahead of other realtors. Thank you.
A round of applause for him, please. I'm a property lawyer. I will network with you before I go. Don't worry, because we have business together. Barrister. How many lawyers do we have in the building? Law is the biggest and the best profession in the world. Have you ever seen a poor lawyer before? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. This is a career path I dedicate my life to. And I also plan to, I hope that God helps me, and with support of people like the Reverend and then Chairman here, when I want to do my program, I will call me Chairman to make you come speak to your lives for there. I believe that the reason why the legal profession in Nigeria suffers ridicule like this one now, that poor lawyers, is because many lawyers do not treat the legal profession as a business. Law is a business. Don't worry. Let me not divert my question. Nothing right now. I'm a property lawyer, so I'm coming from that angle. There are some people that want to buy properties. They want to drop money right now. But you also want to do your job because you don't just want to do, like you said, integrity. You want to do your search. You want to do something to be sure that before you advise them to buy the property, they hold on. But some people are in a hurry. They also say, go and pay, go and pay, go and pay. And once they pay, you lose that client. And you also don't want to do something that would sabotage your own integrity. What is the role you think standardization, documentation plays in this space? And what do you think stakeholders need to do better to ensure that?
Thank you so much. I actually addressed some of this during my presentation earlier this morning. And thank you so much for that question. Thank you, Doc. Good to hear your story. And Mr. Matt, that's awesome. That's awesome indeed. So for the question, for me as a lawyer and as a matter of practice, I mentioned it while I was making presentation. You can't just present money to me and say, lawyer, please, can you, if you remember, I used the word roll out. I should roll out deed of assignment for you. I said, no, that at this level, I'm no longer looking for money. I have built the reputation in the market. I'm a lawyer for more than 17 years. So
round of applause. 17 years. 17 good years.
So it's no longer about the money. I've built a reputation that I need to sustain with reputation, with integrity, to ensure that my competence, my mastery at every point in time is intact. So what I do is that I make sure that I go through the process. I'll go and do the search. And that depends on the kind of transaction, because it's the kind of transaction that determines the kind of search I'll do on the property. If it's a registered property, I know where to go. If it's not a registered property, I know how to go about it. Because if a property is not registered, I said it in the morning, you have no business with lands registry. So if it's a survey plan that you have on ground, you take it to the Surveyor General's office to even check that what you have on ground and what they are selling to you is true. I mentioned about a flying coordinate. Sometimes they sell what is not available. And by the time you use the survey plan, you get to the Surveyor General's office. He's showing you another property. You want to buy a property, maybe at Okot, and he's showing you property at Ikeja GRA. So you need to go through that search. But if it's a property that is registered for the benefit of people who were not here in the morning, if a company is selling to you and you want to conduct what we call comprehensive due diligence, or I call it RED, real estate due diligence. If you really want to conduct a search, not the type you just do at lands registry. First, if it's a company selling to you, you want to confirm if there is a debenture, whether they've used it as an asset before selling. So you want to clarify that from the Corporate Affairs Commission. And apart from that, you have, if it's a property, I said it depends on the circumstance of each transaction. If people that are selling to you are the children of the deceased, their father is late, their mother is late probably, and they are the ones selling what their father has left for them, you want to do search on that. You want to go to probate registry and confirm that the letter of administration they are giving you, that the property that you are buying is covered with that letter of administration, if it's not covered, there is need to apply for what we call additional letter of administration, which will now cover the current property that you want to buy. Now, another thing is, I mentioned, is if you are buying a property and it's located somewhere, maybe anywhere mainland, you go to Ikeja High Court to go and conduct a search. If it's somewhere here in the island, you go to Iboshere to conduct a search. But I must mention that the problem we have at Iboshere now, you know, when we had the NSAS issue, so many courts, this thing got burnt. So some informations are no longer in the court. So you might search, and if you fall within the ones that got burnt, you might not find anything. So you might be buying a property that is under litigation, but you are not able to trace it at the registry. Another place where you conduct a search is Asset Management Nigeria, AMCON. 2018, a lot of organizations that borrowed loan, it was non-performing, and then their loan book were sold to the Asset Management Nigeria, and they bought the asset, not the liability. So what they do is that they took over all those properties, and some of them they are yet to recover because there are many. You know, sometimes it's scattered over Nigeria. So they are doing what we call tracing. AMCON is doing tracing. So sometimes the property you are buying might not have come under the one they are tracing, and you think you have bought something good until the time they will trace the properties, because sometimes they use the directors of those organizations to trace their assets, the things that they have. You know, you notice that some properties you will trace as far as Enugu, Asaba, and it belongs to AMCON. So if you buy such properties, you have bought nothing. But I also must mention that you will look at the circumstances at which AMCON took over that property, whether they followed what we call the due process. If due process was not followed, and then AMCON will tell you, oh, we have done everything is fine, but the matter is ongoing. Eventually, if court gives judgment and asks parties to go resume what we call to status quo, it means you have bought nothing. And I give an example. Suru Worldwide Ventures Limited, that had, I'm trying to remember the name of, Best Western at Ikeja. AMCON took over some of their assets, and they won the case at Court of Appeal, won the case at Supreme Court. At Supreme Court, the court said parties should maintain status quo and that the matter should start de novo, that's afresh. By that time, the lawyers that were in charge have sold Best Western. So, and the man tried to recover the property, he was unable to. As we speak, they are still on the matter. So imagine even the person that bought the hotel and the actual owner of the hotel, everybody is facing issue. Meanwhile, this is a Supreme Court judgment. So if you don't go through all these processes, you will find it difficult to maintain what we call integrity as a lawyer. And I must say this, standardization is not only within the process. You as a person should be a person of standard. A person of standard, even in the mindset, you must ensure that even the contract that you are drafting must meet the legal provisions covering that particular transaction. You don't just do cut and paste as a lawyer. In fact, my nickname is Madam Due Diligence, and I'm happy that they call me that because I am not quick to collect your money. In fact, sometimes you will see most agents will tell, Madam, you are just wasting our time. 10 people want to buy. I will tell my clients, 10 people will always want to buy. Even sometimes 20 people will always want to buy. If you really want our firm to do this, let us do our due diligence because I'm going to put my seal at the end of everything. So it's important as a lawyer, maintain your standard, the standard that the regulatory body has put in place. You as a person, the standard that you are using to render your services is very, very important. Do not compromise the standard at any point. Thank you.